After landing on Kevin Durant's short list of preferred destinations, the Miami Heat have the real shot at acquiring the 15-time All-Star from the Phoenix Suns. It all depends on how far they are willing to go to get a deal done. According to NBA insider Jake Fisher, the Heat have a swing piece that they were reluctant to relinquish in past trade talks. Miami's ultimate willingness to surrender Kel'el Ware, given the Suns' noted hole at center, could be the true swing factor in the Heat's Durant pursuit. In February, it was clear. Sources say Miami was unwilling at the trade deadline to part with either of its recent first-round draft successes. Ware or Jamie Jaquez Jr. Could that change now after Miami fell so flat in the playoffs with its post-Butler roster? Fisher wrote on the Steinline Substack newsletter. The Cleveland Cavaliers swept the Heat in the first round of the playoffs. They struggled mightily following the messy exit of Jimmy Butler. If the Suns send Durant to South Beach, where last year's 15th overall pick could headline the Heat's trade package. The 7-foot center is fresh off a promising rookie season. He was named to the NBA All-Rookie Second Team after averaging 9.3 points on 55.4% shooting and 7.4 rebounds in 22.2 minutes. Kevin Durant trade talks revisited. The Heat pursued Durant at the trade deadline when the Suns were looking to acquire Butler. After talks fell through, the Heat ultimately shipped Butler to the Golden State Warriors, who reached the second round in the stacked Western Conference buoyed by the 5-time All-Star arrival. With 1 year and $54.7 million left on his 4-year, $190 million deal, Durant is a flight risk after in what could be a 1-year rental. Fortunately for the Heat, they are one of the 3 teams that Durant is willing to commit long-term should they trade for him, ESPN's senior NBA insider Shams Charania reported. The other 2 are the San Antonio Spurs and the Houston Rockets. Both Texas teams have been reluctant to go all in on Durant because of his possible awkward fit with their very young timeline. That isn't the case for the Heat, who are desperate to regain their playoff swagger after losing Butler. Heat have the most enticing offer? According to ESPN's senior NBA writer Brian Windhorst, the Suns have a high asking price for Durant. From what I am told, the Suns are looking for a comparable package for what they traded Kevin Durant, which is impact players and multiple draft assets, Windhorst said on NBA Today on June 11th. I'm not sure they're going to be able to generate that because Durant is a couple of years older and his contract is short. On top of Ware and Jaquez Jr., the Heat also have 3 tradable first-round picks, 2030, 2032, and this year's 20th first-round pick via Golden State from the Butler trade, and 2 second-round selections. They also have Andrew Wiggins, who fits the high-impact player the Suns have been looking for. The expiring salaries of Terry Rozier or Duncan Robinson could also help the Suns regain future financial flexibility to keep retooling around Devin Booker. The Heat's offer, in the end, could even prove to be most enticing from the Suns' perspective, Fisher wrote. The Miami Heat continued to be linked with a potential trade for Kevin Durant. Pat Riley is likely keen to replace Jimmy Butler's star power in the hope of boosting the franchise's chances of success. ESPN's Bobby Marks recently shared a proposed trade that would make sense for both the Heat and the Phoenix Suns. Marks' idea looks like this. Suns get Nikola Jovic, Andrew Wiggins, 2025 first-round pick via Golden State, 2030 first-round pick via Miami, 2026 second-round pick via Los Angeles Lakers. Nets get Duncan Robinson, Kashad Johnson, 2029 first-round swap, top for protected, 2031 first-round swap, top for protected, 2031 second-round pick via better of Indiana and Miami. Miami has to hope that Dallas decides not to sacrifice massive amounts of depth for a Durant pursuit and Houston prefers to wait for a younger star player, say, Giannis Antetokounmpo or Booker, who better fits the team's timetable, Marks wrote. In that scenario, the Heat can check multiple boxes for the Suns. This trade cuts about $20 million from Phoenix's 2025-26 payroll, which the Suns could either reinvest in a center or simply take as enormous luxury tax savings. In this trade idea, the Heat would keep both Bam Adebayo and Tyler Herro. As such, Eric Spoelstra would have a highly reliable trio to build around. However, the pressure would then be on Riley to construct a talented supporting cast. Heat should consider a gap year. If Miami misses out on adding Durant this summer, embracing a gap year could be a viable option. Dan Favale of Bleacher Report recently outlined why embracing a year of struggle could be a smart move for Miami. Without a clear present-day or future solution already on the roster, the Heat must look outward, Favale wrote. And that should lead them to an awkward realization. They're better off taking a gap year. Miami doesn't have any money to throw around in free agency, but could have $30 plus million in space next summer when they also control their own first-round pick. Taking a step back now makes more sense than prematurely pursuing a trade or pretending as if the Heat's roster is built to yield a solution without a significant addition. If the Heat do adopt a slow and steady approach, they will enter next summer as genuine players on the free agent market. Maybe the potential to land a star-level free agent talent will be enough to give the Heat reason to seek out stopgap additions this summer. Andrew Wiggins could make sense for Lakers. Even if Miami does embrace a gap year, it could still look to improve on the fringes. One way of doing that could be testing the trade market for Andrew Wiggins. In a recent episode of his Buha's Block podcast, The Athletic's Jovan Buha noted that the former champion could be a strong addition for the Los Angeles Lakers. I think Wiggins, if the Lakers are looking to address the wing need on the trade market, Wiggins is a guy that I like a lot, and you can get there probably with some base of Rui plus matching salary, Buha said. For me, any trade where the Lakers can add a rotation player and not give up one of their top 6, I would say, the line for me starts at Gabe, where I'd be willing to give him up for an upgrade. So I have not heard specifically Wiggins, but he is the type of target that would make sense for them. This summer could be a busy one for the Heat. Therefore, it will be interesting to see what route Riley chooses to take. However, if Miami does miss out on Durant, what they do next will dictate how the upcoming season will play out for Eric Spoelstra's team. Phoenix Suns star forward Kevin Durant is still up for grabs via trade, and Miami Heat fans are wondering if the former MVP will finally end up in South Florida this time after the team had some unsuccessful pursuits of him in the past. A number of teams are involved in the race for the 15-time All-Star, and the Heat are among them. However, based on some recent comments from Ethan J. Skolnick of 5 Reasons Sports, the leaderboard in the Durant sweepstakes has been changing frequently. The Miami Heat are still in this, Skolnick said Sunday. I'm not going to say who's in the lead. That changes minute to minute. It's worth noting that on Monday, ESPN's Brian Windhorst said the Minnesota Timberwolves have been the most aggressive team in the Durant sweepstakes. Durant may still be a player who's capable of changing the championship race in the NBA. Although he's 36 years old and will turn 37 in September, he has shown impressive longevity and remains one of the game's top scorers. This season, he averaged 26.6 points, 6.0 rebounds, and 4.2 assists per game, while shooting 52.7% from the field, 43% from beyond the arc, and 83.9% from the line. By some measures, it was one of the most efficient scoring seasons of his decorated career. The Heat could really use a lift after going through a trying 2024-25 season in which they lost star forward Jimmy Butler and finished below .500. Miami did sneak into the playoffs but was demolished in the first round by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Durant, a 2-time champion thanks to his time with the Golden State Warriors, knows what it takes to win a ring in the NBA, and he'd certainly get the Heat closer to contention in the Eastern Conference. The question is whether or not he'll get that opportunity in Miami. The Heat may have the assets to put together the most enticing offer the Suns are going to see, but it remains to be seen how far Miami will go to get a deal done for Durant. It's been suggested that the Heat don't think the upside of a potential Durant deal is as much of a slam dunk as their deal was for star big man Shaquille O'Neal many years back.